Hey, thanks for checking out this video. I've got an awesome new feature to share with you, the rotating scheduling module. Previously, it was possible to create a team schedule through the standard shift templates. However, it became cumbersome when you needed to make any changes. So we've come up with a dedicated feature just for this, the rotating scheduling module. It doesn't matter what type of team schedule you have. Creating the schedule is simple, you fill it with your defined teams and easily roll it out. The best part is that if you need to make a change, whether people want to swap shifts or when someone is leaving the company, you can easily implement that change. So, how does this feature work? This feature works as follows. When you go to Shift Schedules under Scheduling, you'll see a number of predefined schedules here. If I want to create a new one, we have several templates you can choose from. You can also design one yourself. When I click on the details here, you'll see the name, which I can adjust myself. I can specify how many teams are involved. I can indicate how long the cycle lasts. These are the standard shift times. In this case, a morning, afternoon, and evening shift. I can also add one. This is how the schedule is ultimately rolled out on a weekly basis. Here I still have the option to make changes. So here too, you can see that this flexibility is entirely in your hands, and I can even change the names of my teams. Sometimes they work with teams, sometimes with shifts. That flexibility is also fully included there. Now on this screen, I can see all the templates I have previously created. For this demo, I will edit this one. What you see here, first of all, is the weekly schedule. I can see that for the location The Hague, production hall, a department, and position line 1, I have already made significant progress. What I'm going to do now is assign employees to Team 5. I do this by clicking on this button and then selecting that for Team 5. Myself. And let me see, I want to add Robin as well. I also have the option to add an extra open shift to that team. And with that, I also have the option to specify whether, if someone responds to it, it will be automatically approved or not. Now, in this case, I'm going to create 84 shifts. And as you can see, I now have a complete team schedule for line 1. If I am satisfied with that, I can proceed to roll out the team schedule. Here, I can see when I want it to start. Let's say next week, Monday. And it's for 10 weeks, so I'll set it until Sunday, July 6th. It can start from week 1. And when I click here, I see a complete summary of what is going to happen. In Jens's case, for example, I can see that all these shifts are being created for him. But there are also days when he has leave. You can see here that everything is clearly displayed, so I can take this into account when rolling out the shift schedule. When I now click on Rollout, you can see up here on the right that I receive a notification. And when I now go to the schedule, I can see all those shifts. What you see here is a copy of what we have set up. From this view, it is of course still possible to make changes as you are used to. However, if you want to make a change to the cycle, we go back to the shift schedule settings. In this case, I was working with this template. Here I can see again what I have built. If I want to remove someone, move someone, or have someone swap shifts, I have the option to do so. Specifically, I can move or remove them. When I click on Move, I can, for example, choose to move Jens to another team. If I say, well, that's actually a swap because I want Kias back on the team, or swap back with Jens, then I would do it as follows. It is also possible to remove someone. We remove someone as follows. For example, myself. If I were to remove myself here, I would be removing 42 upcoming shifts. In this case, I would be the only one left working as the team. One on line 1. So that's too much work for me alone. So ideally, I would actually like someone to join me. However, sometimes it's the case that this doesn't need to happen from the first week, but for example, from week 4. Well, that's also possible. At the moment I add someone, namely Wouter, and I assign him to team job 1, then he will be added here. This gives me the option to decide when I want this change to take effect. So if I go to rollout and I select here that, for example, it should start from week 4, then I will, well, move forward 4 weeks. Now that cycle lasted until July 6th, and I want him to be included starting from week 4. Then I can continue clicking here as well. And then I see a summary showing that Mr. Wouter Earlemans is included in the planning from week 4 onwards. If I also click on rollout here, that process is also completed successfully. This was a quick rundown of how the rotating scheduling feature works. If you're as excited as I am, don't hesitate to contact us. We'll catch up soon. Thanks for watching.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.